What's good, everybody? It's your boy. Okay, so I want to talk to y'all about something. I was on Facebook and I was reading all the bullshit, and somebody posted up a photo of Chrono Trigger and Earthbound, and the words they used were rare. If you want to collect video games, go for it. I got no problem with that. Please, 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 please quit using words like rare to describe games that were mass produced. Because you yourself look like a fucking idiot. There's nothing rare about Chrono Trigger. There's nothing rare about Earthbound. I've seen those games in like 7 different mom and pop stores. The only reason they still exist in those stores is they want like $200 something for Earthbound, and Chrono Trigger they want like 110, and that's for the fucked up looking one. And the reason they want so much for those games is because idiots like you keep throwing words like rare out there. And that's the reason. Seriously. The reason these games are so expensive is because you idiots have yet to figure out that Super Nintendo, there's nothing rare about this system. I'm going to give you an example. It took me a long time to find that game right there. Yes, that one. Fucking Breath of Fire for the Super Nintendo. It took me forever to find this game. It's not rare, it's just mom and pop stores don't exist like that where I live. I have to travel to find them. So when I did find it, I had to travel. Incredible Hulk on Super Nintendo. Again, not hard to find at all. Yeah, a lot of these mom and pop stores use the internet to do their pricing. They use the internet. And that is in turn in itself an issue, because the internet is all opinions. And when you use opinion-based pricing and you see shit on the internet, a lot of these mom and pop stores are made up from people who don't know any better. And when they see words like rare, they think, oh, that game's hard to come by and it's actually rare, so I need to price it like him. And what do you get? You get the retro market, and it's fucked. I'm going to show y'all guys a game, and it's from a system in which actually rare games do exist from. And that would be the Nintendo 64. This game is not one of them, because it's Wave Race 64. This is not a rare game. But the Nintendo 64 was the first system in which I ever encountered rare games. And I don't mean from the company Rareware. Rareware never made a rare game because they would always mass-produce their games. Conker's Bad Fur Day, mass-produced. Remake, in fact, encouraged the mass production of Conker's Bad Fur Day, the original one on the Nintendo 64, to make a comeback, because the gaming community, the people who are pure to the original copy and they want that, were like, hey, let me get the original copy and the one on Xbox, and I'll compare the two. And therefore, like, it's the same thing with Chrono Trigger on the Nintendo DS and the Super Nintendo. They want to compare the two. They want to, see everything. But when you throw words out there, especially in the retro market, and with the retro market being run by people who are just your average everyday person, and you throw words out there like rare, they don't know any better. I can't blame the people who don't know any better, but when you idiots who collect games like this, and you get on eBay and you're like, man, my copy of Wave Race 64 is rare, and then you go to your mom and pop store and you're like, Wave Race 64 for $20? What the fuck? Congratulations, you're part of the damn problem. Because you wrote on eBay that a copy from Nintendo 64 of Wave Race was rare and you wanted to sell it for this amount. Well, that makes you part of the problem. If I was to sell this game on eBay, I would ask maybe $6. Just because that sounds reasonable. $6. If I had the box and everything, I'd ask 10. Why? Because it was probably worth $15 when the damn system went out. So, why do I bring this up? Why is this important? Because the gaming market for retro games is fucked up. That simple. We know Sega's stock is horrible. CBI games, finding them for Sega Genesis is simple. Finding them for any Sega thing is simple. You just gotta go to Goodwill, go to any thrift store, go to anywhere they sell games, and you can find CIB games for any kind of Sega system, and it's easy. You can find cartridge games easy too, and they're not going to cost that much. What you'll have a hard time finding is any Nintendo CIB, unless it's like your 3DS or your Nintendo Wii or your GameCube, and even GameCube's hard to find complete in box. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. When you throw titles like that on there and you get these people seeing that, they really think to themselves, this is a rare game to find. This is where the rarity started when it came to gaming, in the gaming, and it started with Nintendo 64. And the reason it started there was because you had games like Snow Kids, the snowboarding kid game, Snowboarding Kids, I believe is the title. Nintendo made a limited run of that game. It was like, what, a few hundred copies of that game, and they shipped it out. And if you were lucky to get that game, then congratulations. Hopefully you held on to it. Personally, I've never seen this game out in the market. And then you had games that were made specifically for like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster, and you had to wait until they actually put it on their for sale mark, where they sold their used products. You had to wait until they did that, and even when they did that, you were not guaranteed to get the cardboard box that it came in. You were probably going to get the Blockbuster or Hollywood Video used casing that it came with. So that was where, this is how it started, okay? But again, we're talking about the Nintendo 64 era. There's like, this system is highly mass produced. These games are so easy to find. You just have to put in the time to look for. Some games are harder to find because people snatch them up real quick. They'll pay anything for them because they don't think about this shit. I guess I've said this before. Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, I've seen in several mom and pop stores, and the people who work there are like, oh yeah, it comes in and out at least 3-4 times a week. 3-4 times a week. This game, okay, this game is not that rare. It may be hard to find, but it's not rare. And the reason it comes in so much, and the reason why people, the reason why it does this whole flip in and out thing is because people are paying $100-something for it. That's the reason they can't keep it. It's because they're paying $100-something for it, and they go back and they get the game back because they're like, I can spend $100-something on food, or I can put $100 for the rent, or the gas bill, or the phone bill, or what the fuck ever. They're basically renting the game for $100. Okay? And nobody should have to pay $100 for a fucking video game. The most you should pay for any retro game, I don't care what the title is, $20 at most. Because that's how much it cost when the system died. But what fucked it up is you idiots out there not knowing what the definition of rare is. Not understanding what makes the game rare. Not understanding that a limited production of that game is what makes it rare. If they only printed about 500 to 1,000 copies of this one title, would make it rare. Now, granted, okay, if you want to make this game rare, get a time machine, get a DeLorean and make the time machine, and go to like the year 4098 after your meet your future children, you know what I'm saying, meet your future like way in the future, and ask them what the fuck Super Nintendo is. Then you can find some rarity. Then you can talk about some rarity. But until then, these bitches is not rare. They're just hard to find. And the only reason they're hard to find is because you are not willing to go on eBay and look, or Amazon and look, or GameStop and look. You want to go hoof it and do it that way. That's the only reason. Other than that, they're easy to come by. You can find them with the most ease. They're not that hard to come by. They're simple. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Is the reason retro is fucked up is because people keep throwing words like rare and hard to find labels out on games that are not hard to find or even rare. And we need to quit doing that. We need to start using, right here to describe the games. Like this game right here, if I had to describe this game, it's a hard as fuck game to play if you don't play retro games. This game is hard as fuck, and it's complete in box. Has the manual, the game works, got gold teeth. If you want it, you can buy it. I sell it to you for $20. That's how you need to describe it. You don't need to be like, oh, because it's on Sega Genesis, it's a rare game. No, bitch. I'm about to get out this bitch though, so I'll see y'all next video. This has been me describing what the fuck rare means versus you idiots talking rare over some actual random ass bullshit game on Super Nintendo. I'm out this bitch.